While the mob is trampling each other for the last loaf of bread at the grocery store, there is a building 2 blocks away that is sitting empty, unlocked, and full of the chemicals, fuel, and metal you actually need to survive the winter. And nobody is looking at it because it doesn't sell food. In a collapse, calorie starvation takes 3 weeks to kill you. Cold takes 3 hours. Infection takes 3 days. I'm going to show you how to strip a laundromat of the industrial-grade resources that solve the freeze and rot problems of the apocalypse, leaving the mob to fight over scraps while you walk away with the infrastructure of survival. Most people think survival is about calories. It's not. It's about temperature regulation and hygiene. If you can't stay warm and you can't stop an infection from a minor cut, the food you stored in your basement doesn't matter because you'll be dead before you finish the first can. That's why when the sirens start and the grid dies, I'm not heading to the supermarket, I'm heading to the laundromat. It is a hardened structure filled with industrial-grade resources that solve the specific biological problems that kill people in the first month. The looters are looking for a snack. You are looking for infrastructure. Here are the 5 categories of survival wealth you rip out of a laundromat before anyone else realizes what they're worth. First, understand why you are here. In a collapse, human behavior follows a predictable algorithm. I am hungry, therefore I go to where the food is. This creates a kill zone around grocery stores, pharmacies, and gas stations. Laundromats don't have food. To a panicked mind, that makes them invisible. They don't have cash registers worth robbing anymore. They don't have narcotics. This means while the rest of the city is engaging in violence 3 blocks away, the laundromat is usually empty, quiet, and unlocked. You aren't just scavenging for supplies. You are scavenging for safety. You are operating in a blind spot of the collective panic. The first thing you grab is the only thing that looks like trash. Open the dryers. Check the lint traps. In a modern city, finding dry tinder is difficult. You're usually dealing with wet wood, treated lumber that releases toxic fumes, or trash that burns too fast. Dryer lint is processed aerated cotton fiber. It is flash tinder. It catches a spark instantly, even in high humidity. In a commercial laundromat, you aren't finding a handful. You are finding pounds of it. Pack this into a bag. If you have wax or oil scavenged from a nearby garage or kitchen, you can mix it to create fire starters that burn for 10 minutes. But even raw, this is the difference between freezing in the dark and getting a fire going with a single strike of a ferro rod. Do not leave it behind just because it looks like garbage. Move to the utility closet or the space behind the counter. You are looking for 2 specific liquids, bleach and ammonia. In a laundromat, these are sold in gallons, not the small bottles you buy for your house. Bleach is your water infrastructure. Unscented household bleach is the primary method for chemical sterilization of suspect water when you can't boil it. 8 drops per gallon. Wait 30 minutes. Without this, dysentery will kill you faster than starvation. Ammonia is your hygiene infrastructure. You don't drink this. You use it to sanitize your living quarters. When the sewage stops moving, disease vectors like cholera and typhoid return to the city within weeks. You need a way to chemically scorch the surfaces you live on. The laundromat has enough ammonia to keep a shelter sterile for a year. Pause. You need to understand this right now. You are scavenging both bleach and ammonia. You never, under any circumstances, mix them. If you pour these into the same bucket, you create chloramine gas. It burns your lungs, dissolves your soft tissue, and can kill you in a confined space. This isn't high school chemistry. This is a war crime in a bucket. Store them in separate bags. Transport them separately. Use them on different days. Do not become a statistic because you were trying to clean a floor. Most people assume that when the taps run dry, the water is gone. They forget about the infrastructure. A laundromat runs on massive commercial water heaters, usually holding 50 to 100 gallons of potable water each. Even after the city pressure dies, that water is sitting inside the tank. It's clean, it's protected from light, and it's yours. But you can't just turn the faucet. You need a wrench or pliers to open the drainage valve at the bottom. And here is the physics trick. It won't flow out unless you open a hot water tap somewhere higher up in the system to let air in. That's the vacuum break. If you don't do that, the water stays trapped by physics. Bring a hose, connect it to the bottom valve, break the vacuum, and fill your containers. One heater is enough water to keep a family alive for 3 months. Look at the carts, the rolling wire baskets. To you, it's a laundry cart. To a survivor, it is high-tensile steel wire mesh. This is pre-welded steel grid. Cut the sides off. You now have heavy-duty grills for cooking over an open fire. You have material to build animal traps for urban hunting. You have security grating to reinforce ground floor windows. Then look at the coin boxes. These are made of heavy-gauge, hardened steel designed to resist crowbars. If you can pry them loose or unbolt them, you have a ready-made lockbox for your own high-value items. Or, if you have the tools to modify them, they make exceptional, small-scale wood stoves because the steel won't warp under high heat. You are harvesting raw steel without needing a forge. Now you have your chemicals, your tinder, and your hardware. How do you get it home without getting robbed? If you walk out of there with a tactical backpack and a rifle slung over your shoulder, you are a target. You look like a loot drop. Use the environment to camouflage your actions. Use the laundry bags. A person walking down the street carrying a laundry bag looks like a person doing a chore. They look boring. They look poor. Predators look for value. Laundry has no value. By carrying your survival wealth inside the camouflage of the building's own function, you become invisible. You are the gray man. You leave that building with fire starter, water purification, sanitation chemicals, and steel. The people fighting at the grocery store left with bruises and maybe a box of crackers that will be gone by Tuesday. Survival isn't about fighting for the obvious scraps. It's about seeing the value that everyone else ignores. The laundromat is just one building. There are 6 others just like it in your neighborhood right now. I've put together a target list of the other 5 ignored buildings and exactly what to strip from them. It's called the Urban Scavenging Target List. You can download it below. And if you want to survive the first winter while your neighbors are waiting for help that isn't coming, subscribe. I've put together a target list of the other 5 ignored buildings and exactly what to strip from them. It's called the Urban Scavenging Target List. You can download it below.